Welcome back to another shiur in our short series on kashrus in the home. Today, I want to talk to you about koshering liver. Generally, as far as koshering meat is concerned, we don't really need to know what to do because no one, or very, very few people today, kosher meat themselves at home. We all buy meat that has already been koshered by the butcher. It comes with a hechsher, frozen or not frozen, even if it's fresh. All the meat that we buy generally has already been koshered. The koshering process is needed in order to get the blood out of the meat. The blood is the soul. The Torah tells us that we're not supposed to eat the blood. We keep away from the blood, and that's why we need to kosher meat by putting coarse salt all over the meat, which draws out the blood that has to be left on for an hour. According to the Shulchan Aruch, 18 minutes is enough. You get it, that'll draw out all the blood, you wash it off. That process we don't need to explain and go into because it's not really practical for any of us. What is practical for us is liver. Liver is one thing that people do buy not koshered. You can buy it from the butcher non-koshered, and people like to kosher it themselves at home. Fresh liver is very, very tasty, but we have to know how to do it and how to kosher the liver to make sure that it's kosher. The problem with the liver is that seeing as it's the organ that produces blood, it's full of blood. And Chazal tell us that salting in the way that we salt the rest of the parts of an animal is not good enough to take out all the blood that's in the liver. And therefore the only way to kosher a liver is by roasting it. You have to roast it. That's what the fire will draw out the blood, and then we can eat the liver. So how do we do this? What's the process we need in order to be able to roast the liver and to kosher it according to the highest standards? The first stage when you get your liver is to rinse it in water. You rinse it in water. It's also going to soften up the liver. It's also going to make sure that if there were any pieces of other parts of the animal that we don't eat, the chalif, for example, that might have touched and been on, the fat might be on the outside, that will come off. The second stage is that we put a little bit of salt on it. The salt will start the blood inside to start moving and then make it easier for it to come out when we roast it over the fire. Then we take a knife and we do a crisscross cuts on the smooth side of the liver. Each piece of liver has two sides to it, one side which is smooth and the other side which is not. On the smooth side, you do a few crisscross cuts with a knife. That's going to make it easier for the blood that's inside to come out when we roast the liver. You must be careful to use a clean knife, of course. Why is there not a problem of cutting the liver with this knife that it's going to now absorb something? There's no problem of absorption here because there's no heat. The liver is not hot right now when I'm cutting it with the knife. And so even though I'm using a knife that I might use for other things, other kosher things in my kitchen, there's no problem, right? Because there's going to be no absorption. What there's going to be is there's going to be a layer of fat on the outside of the knife, which I'm going to have to wash off when I clean my knife in the normal way, right? As long as you clean the knife with some cleaning detergent, some cleaning liquid, and a scotch, something to scrub it, you clean it properly, then there's no problem of using that knife for anything else afterwards. Okay? So that's what we would call the third step, right? Making these crisscross marks on the liver. Then you can either put a skewer through the liver and put it over the fire, or what a lot of people do, they sell a special grill, which is comes like a pocket that closes, two pieces that close on the other of a grill, and you put the liver in between, and you close it. You close the grate over the liver, and you hold it over the fire, and you grill the liver that way. Or you can put it on the grill if you're having a barbecue outside. You can put the liver on the grate, on the grill, and do it and cook it like that and roast it like that over the fire. While it's roasting, the fire will draw out all the blood from the liver. How long do you have to roast the liver for? You need to roast the liver until it's edible. Until it's edible. If you can see, if you cut open the liver afterwards and you see that there's pink inside, that's fine. The problem is if you see that it's raw inside. Well, you see that it's raw, that means you haven't cooked it enough. But the fact that it's pink but cooked, then that's fine. While it's on the fire, we're careful not to poke the liver. Because while it's in the process of giving out its blood, we don't want to poke it and then we've got a problem of the knife that we poked it with. Even though that's halachatchila halacha, b'di'evid, if you did poke it, the knife is considered as kosher. You don't need to kosher the knife that if you poked the liver while it's on the fire. You shouldn't remove the liver from the fire until it's cooked. You can turn it over, but you shouldn't remove it from the fire and start checking it until it's already ready to be eaten. Once it's ready, once you can see that it's cooked enough to be edible, the Ashkenazi custom is to rinse it under water before eating. The reason for that is because of a little bit of salt that we put on at the beginning, which has now absorbed blood in it, and any blood that's dried on the outside of the liver, we want to get that off before we eat it. The Sephardi custom is not to be particular about rinsing the liver afterwards. Now, the question a lot of people ask after I've koshered my liver, what about the grill that I koshered it on? Is it kosher? Can I cook a hamburger on that grill afterwards as well? Or do I need to kosher the grill, which would be a difficult process, because to kosher a grill, the grill of a barbecue, for example, you need to do what's called libun. You need to get it to be white hot. We have a rule in koshering of kabolo kach polto. In the way that it absorbed, that's the way it's going to give out, if you want to kosher it. But anything that was absorbed on the fire, we need to get it red hot, white hot, before we can say that the taste that was absorbed has come out, which for the layman is not a simple process to do. So the halacha is that with a grill, you don't need to kosher it after you koshered your liver on that grill. With the skewer, if you put a skewer through the grill and you use that to hold the liver while it's over the fire, then the custom is that the skewer needs koshering before you can use it again. But the grill doesn't. The difference between the grill and the skewer is that the skewer is totally surrounded by the liver, whereas the grill, it's just lying on the grill. The Chazal explained that while the fire is drawing out the blood, so the fire draws the blood towards it, and it doesn't have time to get absorbed inside the grill. And that's why, where you did it on a grill, the grill doesn't need koshering. But with the skewer, which was inside the liver, the custom there is that we would need to kosher the skewer. A very good idea for someone who likes to have fresh liver at home would be to get one of those electric barbecues that you can buy very cheaply and use it specially for your liver. Right? It has a plate underneath which is filled with water, and the blood will all go in there, everything that's drawn out, and you have this barbecue that is specially set aside for the koshering of your livers. That would be always a very good idea. And that's how to kosher a liver. Enjoy your livers.